Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue. I've gotten a lot of comments on YouTube, a lot of messages on Instagram and Twitter about my Bayou Classic Smoker. People want to know, now that I've had it for about a year, what do I think? So this is my Bayou Classic Offset Smoker 1-year review. Stick around. So I bought this smoker about a year ago. I have a video online if you want to see about assembling it. I'll put a link up here for you. It's a really great smoker. I love it. It cost me about $600. I bought it from Costco. It's really thick. The metal is thick for the price. It's not as thick as, say, a Yoder or a Lang, something like that, but it's much thicker than some of those ones that you would buy at Walmart, Home Depot, places like that. It's a little bit more, but I think you get what you pay for with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through the pros and cons of this smoker. I'll tell you some of the things I really like about it and some things that I would change if I could. First thing, things I like, the pros. The grates in this thing are amazing. They are just like thick, well over a 1/4 inch thick, solid steel bar. And they might show a little wear, might show a little rust, but these things are never ever gonna give up. I mean, there's so much metal on there that they're gonna last forever, and they're holding up great. After I smoked on them a couple times and got, a couple layers of fat and grease like rubbed into them, they've been holding up phenomenally well. Like I said, the overall quality of this smoker, the size of it, the welds, the firebox is welded on. It's not bolted on. So you have no chance for any sort of smoke or air leaking coming out of there. The doors are big and heavy, and the seams are actually pretty tight. I might go through and put some gasket on them just to see if I could tighten it up a little more, but once this thing gets warmed up and the doors and everything kind of settle into place, it really doesn't leak that much smoke. I really like the extra shelf that's up in the top, and I like the fact that if you just pick it up, it lifts up kind of out of the way. That's super convenient when you're doing a couple extra racks of ribs, or maybe you're cooking chickens at the same time as pork butts or whatever. It's really good to have that shelf in there to put extra things in that you want to fit in the smoker. Another pro that I like about it is the size. It's perfect size for entertaining friends, even doing a little bit bigger than that. I've got as many as, I think, 6 racks of ribs on here, and I could easily fit 8 if I tried. It's just a nice size for home use. It's a little bigger than most people would need, but it's good. I like the shelves that are on it. The shelf up front here, you can see it's kind of showing a little rust, but it's super convenient for putting down a tray right before you load it up in there, and it is heavy. I mean, nothing's going to break that shelf. I've stacked turkeys and I've stacked briskets on it, and it doesn't even bend. The shelf underneath is really handy too, where I stack logs and stuff. Every time I'm going to go do a smoke, I will load that up with whatever wood I'm doing the smoke with, just kind of keep it there. I also like the flat surface on top of the firebox. That's great if you're warming up something, making a side or something that needs to stay warm. It's also great if you want to pre-warm your logs. What I usually do is when I toss a log in the fireplace, I'll put 2 or 3 up on top of there just to keep them warm. If you get them pre-warmed, they burn a little faster, they burn a little cleaner, and you don't get as much of that creosote built up in your smoker. Other pros on this thing, it holds temperature great. I've done a couple cooks in here. I did a brisket overnight, and it would hold the temp really well. For an offset, that's the thing about an offset. You're going to have to stoke the fire. You're going to have to add logs. It's not like a big green egg or even a Weber Smoky Mountain. It's not going to just lock in for 3 hours and you don't have to touch it. But as offsets go, I could get 45 minutes, hour of nice consistent temperature to this thing. Didn't have to do anything to it. It's kind of nice. I do like the handle that's underneath the chimney. It's kind of cool. I got a couple S-hooks, stainless steel S-hooks to put on there, and I can hang things like my tongs and the little rake that comes with it for the coals and the grill grates. It's really super convenient. All right, some things I don't like about the smoker, and this is actually like really nitpicky. First of all, I really don't like how the chimney bolts on to the smoker. I feel like it's just an opportunity for air loss and just to kind of screw things up. I also don't like how there's kind of a space where water and things can gather inside the chimney. If you look at this picture, there's almost like a little lip here on the edge of the smoker and into the chimney area. So if it's raining or something and you leave the door open on top of your chimney, you might collect stuff in there. No, not a big fan of that, but again, super minor. I don't like the way that you control the airflow in the firebox. It's got this little screw out vent that it kind of works, but it's not as precise as one that actually opens and closes and shuts off the vent completely. What I find myself doing instead of actually using that is I just pull the drawer out, a little bit to let some air in. If I need more air, I'll pull the drawer out a little more. That tends to get more airflow in there. Also, the little aluminum bucket that came to catch the grease at the bottom, I love that there's a grease trap. I love that there's a bucket to catch it and a little hook to hang the bucket on. But after a couple of uses, it's almost like the grease that got in there corroded through the cheap aluminum, and I have these little pinholes that'll weep grease onto the ground. It's actually kind of gross. So once I find something a little bit sturdier, maybe like a stainless steel bucket or something like that, I'm probably going to swap that out. You can see, here's some pictures of just kind of all around the surface of the smoker. You can see in some of the seams, there's a little bit of rust showing up, but really nothing bad at all. Considering it sat out in the weather for 12 months now, I'm saying it looks pretty good. What I might do is next time I have this thing fired up and have it nice and hot, I've heard that you can take a little bit of vegetable oil, maybe like a small paintbrush, and kind of paint the vegetable oil onto the rust spots, and it'll sort of slow down. It'll soak into the rust and stop it from spreading. And I might do that, but honestly, there's just a couple seams that are picking up some rust, and that shelf up front, which is usually covered with grease and water anyway. One of the other problems with this smoker, and it's a problem that a lot of smokers have, is the installed thermometer is actually kind of a piece of garbage. So what I did was I took it out, I drilled the hole a little bigger through the lid, and I put in this Tell-True thermometer, which is awesome. If you want to see the video of me installing the thermometer, you can click on the link above, or down in the description I'll put a link to it as well. So like I said, this smoker, fantastic for the money. Has a couple little flaws that I would like to change. The biggest one being that air vent on the side of the firebox, but you can work around it pretty easily. I would definitely buy it again at that price. It was a bargain at that price. If you find one, get one. If Costco gets them back in stock, buy one. It's totally worth it. I can't say enough good things about it. It is just really nice for the price. It's fantastic. Make sure you follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. If you like what you see here, tell a friend, and check back soon because I am going to have a lot more videos coming out here just around the corner. Thanks for watching.